Hello everyone, this is Professor Mrinalini Parmar and we are starting our course on green chemistry, and in this particular topic we will learn the total introduction on green chemistry, that is how it was born, its history, etc. As you can see from this particular slide that chemistry plays a vital role in our everyday life. It's everywhere to be seen. Right from the moment you get up, the toothbrush that you take is made up of plastic, which is again synthesized using some chemical methods. You see here the medicines, clothes, cosmetics, the fuels, the building material of our houses, the instruments, perfumes, deodorants, everything has some or the other application of chemistry. Let's see in this animation that what green chemistry is all about. So we saw in this particular animation story that why there was a need of green chemistry. That since there is so much of involvement of chemistry, the synthesis, and the toxic byproducts, the pollutants which are used as effluents are discharged into the environment, cause a huge amount of pollution, which is not very good for the future generation. So there comes in the scenario green chemistry. So the definition of green chemistry, as you see here, is basically it is the utilization of a set of principles that reduces or eliminates the use of generation of hazardous substances in the design, manufacture, and application of chemical products. So basically, green chemistry is a set of principles, right? So green chemistry outlines a set of principles that forms a framework that can be used to evaluate the environmental impact of a chemical process. It focuses on the methods that reduces or eliminates the hazardous waste. Its approach is the best way to minimize the waste products and not produce it in the first place. Its ultimate goal is to implement energy efficient, hazard free, waste free, efficient chemicals and processes without sacrificing their effect. Ideally, the goods which are synthesized or produced should not be hazardous for the environment, but this is not the scenario at present. The fossil fuels and other non-renewable sources should be replaced by the renewable ones like the coal and wood which we are using. They should be replaced by other forms of energy like water energy or the tidal forms of energy, etc. The goods which are formed by society should either be recyclable or biodegradable. They should not be retained in the environment to pollute it in the future time. They should be biodegraded. The processes which are used to manufacture the product should also be either producing no waste or the waste should be recyclable, so that again it does not pollute the environment. If we look back into the history, in 1998, Paul Anastas, he was then the director of US EPA, and John C. Warner, then of the Polaroid Corporation, they published a set of 12 principles, which we say consists of the consistence of green chemistry. In 1999 again, which was a year later, James Clerk, the Royal Society of Chemistry in UK launched a monthly peer-reviewed scientific journal covering all the aspects of sustainable chemistry titled Green Chemistry. The increasing awareness about the problems due to the chemical pollutions, the discharges that were there, the resource depletion during the 1990s led to the spearheading of a lot of research of efforts in the West. In the USA, the Environmental Protection Agency EPA led the efforts through Green Chemistry program, while the researchers in UK established the Green Chemistry Network within the Royal Society of Chemistry. Let's see some of the examples which consist of the green chemistry. You see here, there are the synthesis techniques, right? Enhanced synthesis methodologies can provide improved environmental performances. We will see about all these things in detail in our next topic when we cover it. In 2005, Nobel Prize laureates like Chauvin, Grubbs, and Schrock, they developed the metathesis method in organic synthesis, which explicit reference to its contribution to green chemistry, which they termed as the smarter production. There was no usage of the solvents, there was no usage of the toxic chemicals, and there were no byproducts which were harmful for the environment. Then there comes in the scenario which is the term bioengineering, which is the synthesis of chemicals by uh, organisms. Okay, it is also promising for achieving our principles or the goals of green chemistry. Okay, some more examples of green chemistry you can see in this particular slide. Carbon dioxide as a blowing agent in polystyrene production, hydrazine production using a greener peroxide method, and there is 1,3-propane-diol used to create polyesters for carpet manufacture involves synthesis using genetically modified E. coli bacteria. There is lactide and polylactic acid. These are all sustainable alternatives to petroleum-based products. If we look into the legislation part, you see European Union has already formed an organization which is Evaluation, Authorization and Restrictions of Chemical, which is a REACH program that was in 2007. USA also has formed Environmental Protection Agency, which is EPA, in 1970 to protect human and environment health by creating and enforcing laws which are environment friendly. If we go for green chemistry in India, which started here in our country almost 20 years ago, the first prominent academic convention was in the National Symposium on Green Chemistry, which was held in University of Delhi in 1999, bringing scientists who were practicing green chemistry together. Now, in recent years, India has seen a rise in the number of green chemistry events and workshops, as well as the number of institutions conducting research. In 2018, CSIR received responses from all over the 10 CSIR labs which were working on projects on green chemistry across India. Indian environmental law, though, dates back to the 1970s and include around 200 separate regulations, including the Water Act of 1974 and Air Act of 1981. There is Environmental Protection Act of 1986, which came into enforcement after the Bhopal explosion in the Union Carbide plant in 1984. Now the time has changed. Not only government but other organizations and even the industries are interested in reducing the harmful discharges. Any method, any principle which is harmful for the environment is taken care of. As we already talked, green chemistry involves the 12 principles of green chemistry. You can see here the list. We will go one by one in detail in our next lecture. So this was all about introduction of green chemistry. Now I think that all of you must have formed an idea what is green chemistry all about, why it is so important for sustainable future. Thank you all for visiting the site. The more details of green chemistry will be included in our next lecture.